Vana veru mirembe. Ingo Derby imekuwa noma sana. Ingo Derby imekuwa kali, imekuwa na hype as expected. Vurugu kidogo ambayo bado yafaa tuweze ku-eradicate kutoka kwa mpira wetu wa Kenya. This is Soccer Direct. Welcome to Soccer Direct by Sports Eye, where we look at the in-depth tactical analysis of the Kenyan game, the African game, and the world stage at large. I am Mangatia Josh. I am with
Murimi Njiro, sports journalist at Mozart Sport, data enthusiast.
Murimi. He has forgotten to add that he's a lover of the Jurgen Klopp style of football. His team does not play the Jurgen Klopp style of football, but to each their own. I am Ngatia Josh. I also write at Mozart Sports KE, tactical analysis writer and personal performance analyst at Kariobangi Sharks, the team you should support. So moving forward, we're going to look at the Ingo Derby. The scores
2-1
to
in favor of Kakamega Homeboyz. They had one against their
new arch rivals.
not yet there, but I think it's a fixture that is coming to that level in time.
Yeah, it's a fixture that is holding a lot of promise for the Kenyan game. What we have to eradicate, I insist again, is the hooliganism.
I do not think it's hooliganism. I think it's just excessive fanatism, which is good for the game, but not too much of it.
That is coming from a Kenya Defence Forces supporter. To him, small riots are not hooliganism.
On small things.
Okay, so moving on, before we digress. Yeah, exactly. Before we digress from our main topic of tactical analysis, we want to look at how Paul Odhiambo, Patrick Odhiambo, I'm sorry. Whoa. That's a new one. Came into the match and how Patrick Osems. It was Patrick and Patrick.
It was a Patrick derby.
Yeah, Patrick Osems also set his side up, and where AFC Leopards might have gotten it wrong. Before we continue, we are not football coaches. We do not aspire to be football coaches. We are just tactical analysts who love. Who we aspire to be improve the Kenyan game. We are supposed to also be joined by one of our own, Kirimi Gits Jr. on Twitter. Lakini uchumi memrudisha Nakuru. He'll be joining us soon as we go more in depth. So in this game, something interesting from my perspective was the INGO midfield setup. The INGO midfield setup to me had only one out and out cautious midfielder, something we do not see a lot in the Kenyan game. We only had Oundo in the midfield. First FC was set up in to me what was a 1-4-3-3, 1-4-2-3-1 formation.
I think it was depending on the situation of play.
Yeah, and the side of the ball. Yeah? So if I can go into the nitty-gritties a little, they had Levis Opio, good goalkeeper in goal. They had Thiongo and Bandi, very good. I really like Bandi. And then they also had Casey, one of my favorite defenders. Am I an FC fan? They also had Bandi. They also had Casey. Casey partnered up with Washington Munene, ball playing centre back. In midfield, that is where we have the bone of contention. They had Oundo. There's a piece coming up on Oundo in Mozart Sport in the course of the week, and the role he does at FC Leopards. They had Oundo. They had Omune and
Eugene
Mukangula. Then the front line, we had Maxwell Otieno, who is a number 9, ideally.
Ideally plays as a number 9.
Yeah.
Move out to the wing.
Yeah, can move out to the wing. Maxwell Otieno playing on the right wing. Jafari Owiti, the dangerous 1v1. We call them 1v1 demons. Jafari Owiti playing out on the right, on the left side, with the Nigerian former So United. I have to insist, former So United player. Ojo Olani leading the line. What was interesting to me was the positioning of Eugene Mukangula. Victor Omune was supposed to act as the 8 in this game, and Ojo Olani and Eugene Mukangula as the 10. Because from what I've known Patrick Osems to do, Eugene Mukangula inverts to create a box midfield, but that only works if you're playing a Giovanni with an Oundo, a Wanyama with an Oundo, then Mukangula can invert and Omune to form the box midfield that is terrorized Gor Mahia. So where do you think it went wrong with Mukangula playing alongside Ojo Lani?
I think they didn't. INGO it's a team that has been playing through the midfield, and you could see that the moment they could not play through the midfield, they lacked options. A good example is when Defario was on the flank. You could see that when he had the ball on the flank, he had those flashes of brilliance, and Ingwe seemed like they were ahead from that point. But the way they play, they are not a team that will go to the flanks. They are a team that will seek to go through the middle, through the midfield.
Ideally, I am not a coach, but I'd put a case for Cliff Nyakea. Cliff Nyakea, very good player, a superstar in my books. Cliff Nyakea would have started the game. He brought a different dynamic because Thiongo was not on his A game like the Gor Mahia game, and also we had Casey got off injured. Once Casey went off, you know that that is where the rubber hits the road, because Casey is the glue that makes Ingwe tick. Casey is the glue that makes Ingwe tick. What was also interesting, Murimi, was the 4-4-2 shape that Kakamega.
By the time Casey was going out, they were already 2-0 down.
Yeah, they were already 2-0 down. But with Casey on, you always know that there is a threat, that he will drive forward. He will make those progressive runs into the opposition half to create chances for the team. Because as I was headed there, Homeboyz defended in a block, a 1-4-4-2 block with Sifuna and the striker. What kindly remind me his name? Moses Shuma, the man of the match, who ran endlessly, running. Moses Shuma, the midfield block.
And the man who killed Kariobangi Sharks, Hilary Otieno.
Let us not get into cheap banter. So the 1-4-4-2 block is what was working for Kakamega Homeboyz. They did that also against Ulinzi Stars. So to my understanding, how Kakamega Homeboyz approach a game is, first of all, they deny you central penetration. They do not allow you to get in between them, pressing you.
Not play through the middle.
Yeah.
When you're playing against Kakamega Homeboyz.
Yeah, you will not.
That is what Ingwe did not get right.
Yeah, Ingwe.
They had to be in a position to change the way they play.
Yeah.
But mostly in the first half and in most parts of the second half, they couldn't do that. Towards the end of the second half, so that they tried going more direct with the flanks, so with Cliff Nyakea on this side and was the man on the other side,
Jafari
Owiti on the other. And you could see that going and attempting to be more direct, they found
a goal,
a consolation.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to clap for Eshihanda. Very good defender. Eshihanda. Good defending. Potifa.
And I think it was a sweet win for Robinson Kamura too, considering that he's a former AFC Leopards.
I hit you with an interesting stat. Robinson Kamura won all his aerial duels today.
I'm not surprised.
He had an 100% aerial duel success rate.
I think he's one of the best defenders on air.
Yeah, he's actually one of the best aerially dominant defenders we have in the league. Former AFC man, former Mathare man. Yeah, Mathare Eastlands, we bring talent. So moving for the block, it was very hard to penetrate. So they had to go wide, which is not AFC's game. And also with the balls in behind and the high pressing, high intensity football from the off, always would have caused problems for AFC. But what was interesting, before the first goal, before the second goal, before Thiongo was sent to the cleaners, Kakamega Homeboyz were in AFC Leopards half for a considerable amount of time.
That is not something that you see so often with Kakamega Homeboyz, considering that mostly they'll try to play direct football. Robinson Kamura will get the ball and he'll try to hit it, looking for either Kevin Amoy on the wing or who's the other one?
Juma.
The other wing.
Hilary Juma.
Yeah, Hilary Juma.
Amoy.
So I think it was a bit surprising, saying that Kakamega Homeboyz were trying to be more direct, to have more of the ball in the opposition's half, which is something that they do not do so often. They are more of a direct team.
Yeah, so the dynamic of them having lots of possession before the first goal, it was something that was really interesting to see. And Homeboyz can control games with the players they have in Seba, in Sifuna. I will also insist Sifuna. I am being biased. He's a really good player.
Yeah. Sifuna was so good on this side when they were attacking that ball.
Yeah, Sifuna was really good picking the ball in the half spaces and driving at the AFC Leopards backline. The FC defenders will have nightmares of him today. Yeah. So it was it was the 1-4-4-2 coming up against the 1-4-3-3, 1-4-2-3-1, 1-4-2-4. It was tinkering at its best, but that's why we like Osems. He tinkers, is not afraid to change.
Osems did something that I did not quite understand when he blacked off Munene and brought in whom did he bring?
Oundo. Or he brought on
and
Wanyama.
Brian Wanyama.
Then Oundo.
Musa Oundo
to defense. Yeah. So what Osems was trying to get, he was trying to get passes, which is weird because Munene is a very good passer of the football, but in Oundo he can advance into midfield. That's where the KC dynamic comes in, because KC Odhiambo would have brought what Oundo was bringing into midfield. Bringing into midfield. What KC would have driven with the ball into midfield, Oundo would have brought that same dynamic. Munene is a good passer of the football, but
he's a good passer, and I think he's a good what can you call it? He has very good diagonal balls on either side of the field.
Okay, yeah. So it's tough to take for the INGO faithful. Kolo is very happy, as you have seen him. Kolo saying si bahati ni maombi, na amesema nguvu anarudisha kijijini. So it was again another one from Soccer Direct with no tactical boards yet, but I will sort that out for you, tactical boards director. We insist.
Hashtag tactical boards.
Hashtag get Josh and Murimi tactical boards.
Hashtag tactical boards. Hashtag
so moving on forward, it was a nice encounter with Murimi Njiru, and we are going to move forward to try and improve the game. We are going to try and do analysis of the Mamelodi Sundowns versus Wydad game when we meet up later on, and see how coaches set up, how coaches think, and how also the person at home can understand the in-depth tactics of the game. Thank you very much. It was Soccer Direct. We are out.
Soccer Direct ndani ya Sports Eye.